All right, you got to take a look at this video. It's Ricky Fowler at the Honda Classic, and he's not mad. Watch what he does right in front of this cameraman. And here's why I thought the video was so interesting, because it's like, Zach, how are you going to make an instructional lesson based on this, right? Somebody in the comments after seeing that video said, look at Ricky Fowler, shallows the club better than me, not even trying. Okay, and that's so true. So many people come to me to take lessons in person. It's a really common thing, and they say, I do not know how to shallow the club, right? I know my club, when I come down, is too steep, right? The shaft angle is too steep. I know that I'm not coming down correctly. I cannot let this thing shallow and drop into the slot for the life of me. What gives, okay? So I think that video exactly, obviously he's Ricky Fowler, but I think you could do that too, because I've gotten people to do it here in person. But in order to kind of understand what to do, like let's take a look at what not to do, okay? Because one of the first things that happens when somebody doesn't shallow the golf club, most of the error is not in the downswing. You're looking in the wrong place. Most of the errors, take a look at these guys, they're all in the backswing, okay? The center of mass of the club, right, a position right around here, goes below and behind their hands. Their trail arm stays too close and too low. It happens for a lot of different reasons, right? The weight of the club, you notice it wants to roll this way. It likes to turn this way on the backswing, okay? A lot of times people, in an effort to come down shallow, like I'm gonna come down shallow, they take it back really shallow. But it doesn't work that way, right? As soon as you take it back this way, you're gonna have no choice but to start to steepen that golf club coming down. And we're set in this pattern that, by my best guesses, I would say 50% of the golfers on the planet right now have this pattern of shallow to steep, okay? And you know how I feel about shallowing the club. It's a very important, very near and dear aspect because it's helped my golf swing so much. I did a training series on it about 6 years ago called the Ball Striking Blueprint that continues to still do well. And you know, people purchase it, and I get many testimonials talking about just how much it's helped their game. If you're a golfer that's gone from going back like this to coming down like this to what Ricky Fowler is doing this, it's literally life-changing. It's a whole different game if you can get that to actually cooperate and work on a consistent basis. And I've had students, with the help of the Ball Striking Blueprint and their blood, sweat, and tears, have been able to overcome that steep golf swing, that over the top, that motion that feels just, you know, so bad to them. But here's the big key, okay? Let's kind of just focus on what Ricky Fowler's doing. He just walked up to the camera, took a little swing, and just went like that, right? And real quickly, what he's doing, you notice, right? It's a little different than a golf swing. When he starts, he had the club up this way, right? Which is very important in itself. Typically, when we start our golf swing, the weight of the club is below our hands, and most people keep it there as they take the golf club back. And that's one of the first things that's wrong. So as we start to work on this little Ricky Fowler feel, he's got the weight of the club up in his hands, and right away the club is so much lighter. It's not as light as this, but it's pretty darn light. It's around a 45-degree angle. So from this position, as he takes it back, he's just keeping the weight of the club above his hands for just a brief moment in the backswing. So he's just taking it back with a little bit of body turn, and then boom, the magic starts to happen. And to be honest with you, a lot of this is just a reaction to him just moving his lower body through. The right arm goes external, and then his forearms just roll over so effortlessly and naturally, okay? And here's the hard part, right? Because obviously, like, I've learned how to shallow the club. It's something that's not as hard for me to do anymore. But if you're not, and you're not used to it, it's really important, this next step, okay? So I've got a couple balls out here. You need to take this attitude, this kind of laissez-faire, nonchalant, I don't care how I hit it, I don't care where the ball goes, I just want to hit a ball like what Ricky Fowler did there. And I could show you here, I'm looking at the camera, and I don't care how I hit that ball, but I did what Ricky Fowler did there. So it starts with the weight of the club up above your hands. I'm not even taking my normal stance. As soon as you go in there and you start thinking, here we go, I'm going to really hit one, you know, pretty good here, you're going to go back to some of your old feels and takeaways. So definitely distinguish something different, right? Walk up to it. I don't care how far it goes. I'm nice and loose. I don't care about the results. And I actually want you to start with the club up here, okay? And I think it's a good thing. I'm even taking a stance that's nowhere even near my basic stance. Just take a whatever little natural stance up like this, back, and then as you change directions, you're gonna start to feel gravity kind of take hold and the weight of that club start to fall. The key here with all of this is no tension allowed. Listen to my voice. There's absolutely no tension. The second thing is no external attention or tension on where you want the ball to go or hitting it good, hitting it far, because all of that tension is going to start to lead you into some of your old habits. Okay, so right here, I'm Rickie Fowler taking a swing at the camera, bring it back, boom, and then right around. It almost is going to feel like gravity just starts to drop the club and then bring your body right around the corner. So here I am, no tension at all. I hope you guys can appreciate that. There's nothing in my voice, nothing in my arms, and then right on through. Okay, so to give you a for instance, on those golf shots, that ball went a whopping 67 yards. So there's really no power there at all. But I'm telling you, that's the beginning of change. That's the beginning of you really learning the secrets and how powerful it is when the center mass of your golf club goes from here to down this way. It's really a life-changing experience, and it can definitely change the results of your golf game, okay? So once you start doing that and you're like, wow, I'm doing this every time now, right? I'm feeling this club start to shallow, right? You can kind of start taking a more normal stance. I would keep the club like this, keep your arms doing nothing. You can start hitting it a little bit harder. When you go to taking that into a normal golf swing, here's the big key, okay? And this is where people miss it. They go with the weight of the club down below their hands and they start to bring the club back low and around. You need to make sure, right? What I would do is bridge the gap. You don't have to start here. Maybe we start about parallel to the ground. Back, hit it. But you see with all those practice sensations, the weight of the club is always above my hands and then behind and below my hands on the downswing. So that's the magic in what he's doing there and what great players do, because they all shallow the club, right? That's really the emphasis of what the ball striking blueprint talks about, okay? So if you want any more information on it, it's down below. It'll go more in depth. You'll get a little more feedback, a little more constructive ways to work on shallowing the golf club, from myself. Also, I've got another video up here, deals with shallowing the golf club. You can take a look at that. But trust me, you don't want to be in that 50% of golfers where the club is going like this, okay? It's a bad place to be. So next time, get out there, practice some of those drills, and I will see you next week for our next lesson.